Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and for today's video, I'll be sharing with you how we plan for our intimate civil wedding. So before we discuss the details of our wedding, just to share with you, we had our intimate civil wedding last January 24, 2021 in a small restaurant in Quezon City in Dula Cafe, Tomas Morato, and we had 30 guests lang. So originally, the plan of course is to have a church wedding, and we wanted to be like a bongga church wedding, diba? So 100 to 150 guests, yun naman talaga yung balak namin. But because of the pandemic and because we don't want to delay the wedding, we opted to have it in a civil wedding na lang. Okay, so first of all, know your budget. So dito magre-revolve lahat ng plans, lahat ng decisions mo in your wedding. Diba? So originally nga, this is like a bongga wedding, but since this will be a smaller celebration na lang, then I suggest syempre mag-cut down ka rin ng mga expenses mo. Second tip is to finalize your wedding date. So some of the people I know, or yung mga stories na nabasa ko sa Facebook, is they have an original church wedding date, tapos because of the pandemic hindi nila yung matuloy, so you have to decide on another wedding date, diba? So for those naman na wala pa talaga, keep your options open. So be open-minded sa mga available dates. Let's say for example, if you want your wedding to be on January, then you have to keep your options open ano mang date ng January, because again, this is pandemic. And lalong-lalo na, if you have like 2 to 3 months time to prepare lang, then yung options mo sa dates mas lumiliit siya. So, you just have to keep your mind open na lang kung ano mang date ang available. And don't stress yourself about it if hindi na available yung date. Third tip is to do your research. So, since ikaw na lang, this is a DIY wedding, this is a small celebration, or if hindi naman ikaw lang, or gusto mo pa rin ng assistance ng coordinator, then you can do it. Pero for me, since this is a small celebration, I'm cutting costs, then I'd have to do it myself. So, since this is a DIY wedding, you have to do your own research. So for me, I looked in Facebook, I searched within my networks. So your networks, kung may kakilala kang baker, may kakilala kang photographer, may kakilala kang makeup artist, florist, etc., etc., then use it. And compare prices. Okay, so surprisingly, ang daming suppliers ng weddings. I didn't know that, so I just attended like a few wedding fairs before the pandemic, and nagulat ako sa dami ng choices. Grabe yung business, grabe yung industry ng weddings. So madaming choices. So you just have to do your research, compare quality, compare prices, compare reviews. And last but not the least, the fourth tip is to enjoy every moment. Okay, so for me, I really enjoyed the planning. Hindi ko alam yung mga, diba, yung mga scary bride stories na nasistress yung mga bride, umiiyak sila, hindi na nila alam gagawin. So, I think I'm just lucky because I have a fiancé that's very cooperative. Enjoy every moment because minsan ka lang ikakasal, and ang pangit naman if ang maalala mo sa bawat moment, kunyari may naisip kang ganito, diba? Ang maalala mo yung supplier na nakakainis, or yung gusto mo na hindi natupad, yung mga ganyan, diba? So, it's nice to just let it flow. Let it flow, lalo na it's pandemic, you cannot control everything. There are bigger things happening outside your wedding, outside your event. Be faithful to God, and let it flow, let it happen, and enjoy it. So I gave my tips already. Let's now go to the actual details of our wedding. So first of all, we have to process the requirements. Okay, so the documents needed. So the reason why inuuna ko to, or inuna namin to, is because it's pandemic nga, and ayaw namin magkaroon ng aberya when it comes to the documents. Alright, so syempre government are working like on a 50% capacity most of the time, diba? So we want this covered na para wala na kaming iisipin. And diba, hindi natin sure mamaya yung dating 1 month lang na turnaround time, baka 2 months na siya i-process, 3 months, hindi natin sure. So I suggest this is the first thing that you need to organize. Para naman dun sa mga busy like us, since we are working from home, and if you don't want to go out, diba? So for us, what we actually did is to get a supplier who can help us with the processing of those documents. The reason why we got the supplier is actually nakita ko lang siya sa Facebook, because siguro naghahanap ako ng mga suppliers for the wedding, and lumabas siya sa feed ko via sponsored post. So I contacted them, and they said that they can help us with the processing of the documents, plus they will be providing the solemnizing officer. So my supplier is Quezon City Civil Wedding. So they will assist you with the processing of the marriage license as well as the marriage certificate, plus they will be assisting you in booking your solemnizing officer, which is certified by the PSA. So for that, we paid 8,000 pesos. I guess for those na nakapag-process on their own, they will say that it's expensive, but for us, since walang hassle, as in binigay lang namin yung Senomar and yung birth certificate namin, and sila na bahala, which is very hassle-free for us. So I think that's a good price to pay naman. At least, diba, di kami nagka-COVID, di kami nag-process ng documents dun sa office. So they gave us a copy of the marriage license application form. So we've just filled it out and sinabit namin sa kanila. You can actually get married with just 8,000 pesos. So para dun sa mga walang budget, but you want to get married na, you can actually do so. You just have to pay them 8,000 pesos. And sa office na nila, kayo magpapakasal. But for us, since we want to rent out a ceremony place or venue for that, nag-add kami ng 2,000 pesos because it's outside their office, plus 1,000 pesos pa because we got married on a Sunday. So may additional charge kapag Sunday ka nag-book sa kanila. So we had our intimate civil wedding in Lola Cafe, Tomas Morato. And the reason why we chose them is because of the price and of course the quality of the food. So this is where the research comes in again. So madaming restaurants available na nag-o-offer na ng package for intimate civil weddings. So that's a good thing. However, syempre iba-iba sila ng rates, and syempre quality of food. So for us, syempre we opted for something that's within the location that we want. For Lola Cafe, we paid 25,000. That's good for 30 packs, but you also offer a package for 20 packs, and that's I think 15,000 pesos. For the food, kompleto na siya. Meron na siyang appetizer, main course, dessert, drinks. So complete naman na siya. And kasama na din yun, syempre, yung rent for the place, yung event styling, or yung styling, hindi pa kasama doon. But the utensils, of course, the chairs, kasama na lahat doon. So for that, we paid 25,000 pesos. The next items, I think, are not required. Again, it will depend on your budget. But I suggest that you book a photographer kasi since this is a small gathering and this is still a special celebration, although it's a small event, you have to, I mean, photos will last a lifetime, diba? So, these are the photos that you will share to your children, to your grandchildren, di ba? Yung mga ipapa-frame mo sa bahay mo. And I really suggest that you book a photographer. So, there are photographers that charge 5,000, 6,000 per photographer. For us, we booked Colorful Life Photo Cinema because we like the quality of their output. Maganda siya, very light lang, fun, ganun yung vibes na nabibigay ng photos nila, and we like that. So that's why we book them. So again, this is where the research and the taste comes in. So again, do your research. Madaming photographers available in the market. The industry of the weddings and events are very vast. So madami kang options. Just check ano yung gusto mong peg, ano yung gusto mong feel ng photos mo, and look for the supplier that can give that. Okay, so the rate for Colorful Life Cinema is 12,000 pesos. That's inclusive of 2 photographers. Next is event stylist. So, since gusto namin maging Instagrammable yung venue, we hired an event stylist, which is Get to Check Event Styling. So, they're really nice and very affordable lang. We spent 9,000 for the event styling. We had our backdrop done. Yung VIP tables, and then the wedding cake, and the reveal curtain. So, all of that is just 9,000 pesos. And very matrabaho yung ginawa nila, guys. Pero I'm really happy with the rate and the service that they provided. So, I really highly suggest Kitichi Cafe. So, I'll just link their Facebook page down below. As always. After event stylist, let's now move on to the next supplier, which, again, will depend on you if you want to book them. But for us, we had an hair and makeup artist because I'm not an expert in makeup. And we have a photographer. So, gusto ko naman maging maayos yung itsura ko. So, we paid makeup artist, which is around 7,000 pesos. So, I think that's 6,500 for the actual service, and then 500 for the transportation. So, for this, again, compare. Lalo na for me, I don't know. Wala naman akong kilalang makeup artist. So, I opted to book one, and I had to compare her output to other makeup artists. So, madami. As in, sobrang daming makeup artists here in the Philippines. And if you, like, join intimate civil wedding groups, intimate wedding or wedding groups in Facebook, madami. As in, sila yung pinakamarami doon. So, gusto ko kasi fresh lang, light lang na makeup. Ayoko ng sobrang. So, for the florist, I'm not sure. So, I'm not saying this naman, like, to get all the flowers from the florist. But for me, of course, I needed it for the bouquet and the boutonniere of my fiancé or groom, diba? So, for that, I paid 1,000 pesos. I chose dried flowers, diba? Para ma-preserve naman namin yung flowers and makita pa namin siya for a long time. So, I got it from a Facebook page as well, from Marketplace. So, research lang ako ng research ng mga nagbebenta ng dried flowers. So, nakita ko yung page na yun. And very affordable yung rates nila. As in, 1,000 pesos for the bouquet and the boutonniere. Diba? So, sobrang pasok na siya sa banga. So, you just have to pay additional cost for the transportation fee if you're, of course, malayo sa area nila. So, they are based in Bulacan. And then, let's proceed now to the cake. Of course, you need this for the wedding. Kasi we have a program, so we need the cake, of course. So, for the cake, I just have a friend who has a Facebook bake shop. And she makes character cakes, and she also makes wedding cakes. And bonus na lang talaga na masarap yung cake. And we just paid 1,300 for the cake. It's a small cake lang, 1 layer with like a hint of flour. Yun lang, very simple. Tapos may name lang namin. It's really nice. It's very simple. I really liked it. So, thank you so much to my friend Jelly for making my cake. I'll link her Facebook page down below. Next, this is optional. But if you have like relatives who can do this, then by all means, go for her. But go for her or for him. But if you don't know anyone, then I highly suggest that you book a host. So for us, we booked the passionate host. His rate is 4,500, and we got him because he's very funny. So gusto namin yung style niya, and we want that in our wedding. Very light lang, very fun lang yung ambience, diba? So kahit na small gathering yun, we want it to be lively naman. So I'm very happy that we booked him kasi sobrang naging masaya yung vibe ng wedding namin after the ceremony. Next is wedding band. So for us, we initially planned to get it in Ongpin, but because we're looking for rose gold wedding bands, because my engagement ring is rose gold, so awkward naman kung white gold or yellow gold yung wedding bands namin, diba? So we wanted to have rose gold. So we decided to look for a supplier na lang in Facebook. So again, research na naman sino yung pinakamura, compare prices, diba? So iba-iba yung rates. Just for those who don't know, iba-iba yung rates ng wedding bands. It's much cheaper, the 14 karat. So yun yung kinuha namin. Tapos size, the size will impact the price then. So since we are not the regular size is I think up until size 5 or size 6. So we are both size 9. So mas ano na siya, mas mahal siya compared to the regular rate. For the wedding bands, it will take like a month to create, lalo na para dun sa mga magpapa-customize. So I suggest isa rin to sa mga i-prioritize after everything's planned out. And medyo mahal din siya. It's 19,000 pesos for us. Okay, so next is gown. So for the gown, I bought mine in SM department store. It's unplanned. I am not looking for a gown because initially the plan is for me to wear a knee-length dress lang. But since I found this gown in SM department store, it's Christmas. It's 4,000 pesos. So, talaga na-inlove ako kasi nung sinukat ko, parang pinagawa ko siya for me. As in, sobrang sakto niya. As in, sobrang amazing. Sobrang amazing talaga. And I fell in love with it. So, this is the last item for the wedding prep venue. So, it depends, but I highly suggest if you have a photographer that will cover your wedding prep, diba? So, you have to have a venue for the wedding prep as well. So, if you have a nice house or if you have a nice room na pwedeng gamitin as wedding prep, that will be good. But for us, since we live in a condo, it's a small condo lang. It's a small space. So, mahirap gumalaw. So, we opted to book a wedding prep venue like an Airbnb where I can prepare and do na rin yung shoot. So, syempre, it has to be Instagrammable. So, we choose a place which is Instagrammable, maganda yung pictures, diba? So, yun, it depends on your budget, but for that we spent like 5,600 per night. Just to recap, you have to process your documents, the requirements. Second would be to book your reception or wedding venue. Third is to book your photographer. Fourth is to book your event stylist. Fifth is hair and makeup. Sixth is florist. Seventh is cake. Eighth is host. 9 is the wedding bands. 10 is the wedding gown and the suit of the groom. And 11 are the wedding preps. That's it. I hope this video is very helpful to everyone who is planning to have their intimate wedding. Just final tips. I think magiging mahirap are the finalization of the guests, because you have like limited lang. You have 30, but because you want to push through na talaga with the wedding, we decided to just replace the guests. So for that, I can't say that don't stress yourself about that, because it will really stress you out. But just be open-minded and enjoy the moment, diba? I think kailangan mong maging makulit at this time. Because people are looking after themselves, of course. We don't want them to be sick as well, diba? So just be open-minded and don't like take it against them if they can't attend your wedding. So just look for someone who is willing, who wants to attend, and who thinks that he or she is healthy enough to be there, diba? Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you learned a lot from my experience. And if you have any questions, just type it down below, and I will be very happy to assist and help you with your queries. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. Bye for now.